This is a Revise With Me video on multiplying fractions and dividing fractions. So multiplying and dividing fractions are super easy. When multiplying fractions, we literally just times the top two numbers and times the bottom two numbers by each other. That's a weird arrow. So we just do 1 times 3, which is 3 for the top number, and 2 times 5, which is 10 for the bottom number. So 1/2 times 3/5 is 3/10. The only thing that you could get tripped up on is simplifying it at the end, and you can't simplify 3/10. So next one, 7 times 3 is 21, and 4 times 8 is 32, and that's it, 21/32. This one, work out 4/5 times 9/10, give your answer as a fraction in its simplest form. So this one you're probably going to be able to simplify. So 4 times 9, that's 36, and 5 times 10 is 50. So we can simplify that. You need to think of the highest number that goes into 36 and 50. Okay, so you want what are the factors of 36 and what are the factors of 50, and then you want to divide by that. So you can half both of those numbers, so 2 goes into both of those numbers, so we can divide by 2. So 36 divided by 2, well, half of 36. If you don't know how to half 36, just half 30 and then half 6. So half of 36 is 18, and then half of 50 is 25. So that simplified is 18/25. Right, when we're dividing fractions, you need to remember a couple of things. You need to remember KFC. Okay, so a lot of you love KFC, so you'll remember that, no problem. K stands for keep, the same. So you keep the first fraction the same. So 2/3 stays as 2/3. Then you need to change the symbol. So we change that dividing to a times, because we don't like dividing. So we're going to change it to times in. And the F stands for flip. So we need to flip this fraction. So flipping a fraction is called the reciprocal. Okay, so I want the reciprocal of 8/11, which is 11/8. So I just flip it around. And now just times like normal. So I can do the 2 times the 11, which is 22. And I can do the 3 times the 8, which is 24. So 22/24, and they want it in its simplest form. That whenever they say that in the question, you're guaranteed it's going to be able to simplify. So immediately I can think, well, 2 goes into both of those numbers, so I'm going to divide them both by 2. So 22 divided by 2 is 11, and 24 divided by 2 is 12. So that's how you divide fractions. So let's have another go. So remember, keep the same, change it, and flip it. I know it's KCF, not KFC, but that's how you remember it. So we're going to keep this one the same, so that one stays as 1/4. We're going to change this divide into times in, and we're going to flip this fraction to get 7/6. Now we just times the top two numbers. 1 times 7 is 7, and 4 6s are 24. The only number that goes into 7 and 24 is 1, so we can't simplify that. Because see in the question they haven't asked us, because they can't. Right, work out 5/13 divided by 2/3. So we've got to keep, change, flip. This one stays the same, so we keep this one the same. We change this divide into times in, and we flip this fraction. Instead of 2/3, we want 3/2. So we're going to times our top two numbers. So 5 times 3 is 15, and 13 times 2 is 26. So it's 15/26. So next one, give your answer as a fraction in its simplest form. Probably definitely be able to simplify this. So we've got to keep, change, flip. So we keep 2/17 the same. We change the divide into times in, and we flip the 2/5 to 5/2. So 2 times 5 is 10, and 2 times 17 is 34. So you just think of the highest number that goes into it. The highest number can go into it is 2, so we divide by 2, and we get 5/17. This one, that's just simple times in one question. So 5 times 3 is 15. And 4 times 14 is 56. I don't think you can simplify that. Doesn't ask us to, so I'm not going to. Okay, work out 2/3 times 18. Now, you should know how to do fractions of amounts. However, I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. I'll do a video on fractions of amounts if you want, just ask. But the number 18 is actually, in a fraction, can be written as 18 over 1. So the number 18 in a fraction is 18 over 1, because 18 divided by 1 is 18. So now I can just times those two numbers. So I can do the top 2 times and the bottom 2 times. So I can do 2 times 18. So 2 times 18 is 36. And then I can do the bottom ones. So I can do 1 times 3, which is 3. Now I can simplify this because I can do 36 divided by 3. Don't forget this fraction sign here, this divide. Okay, that line is a divide. Okay, so 36 divided by 3 leaves me with 12. So actually, that is 12. Right, work out 5 divided by 3 over 4. Again, 5 can be written as 5 over 1. So I'm divided now, so I've got a K, C, F. I'm going to keep this fraction the same. I'm going to change that to times in, and I'm going to, instead of got 3 over 4, I'm going to flip that to 4 over 3. So 5 times 4, 20, and 1 times 3 is 3. Now, this is called an improper fraction. If you want me to do a video on changing improper and mixed fractions around, just let me know. I'll quickly go through it now. So if they want it in a mixed fraction, they don't ask for it. You could just leave it like that. But you've got to think of how many 3's go into 20. So do your 3 times table until you get a number less than 20. So it only goes into this 6 times, because 6 times 3 is 18. And then you'd be left over with some. You'd be left over with 2. And we were out of 3, so it's actually 6 and 2/3. It doesn't ask us to give it in a mixed fraction, but it's good to do that anyway. Okay, we've got to work out 1 and 1/3 times 2 and 2/5. Give your answer as a mixed number. Now, you can do this a number of different ways. You can change them both into improper fractions, like this one above, so the 20 over 3. Or you can times your numbers and times your fractions. Just careful with that, because when you times your numbers, you obviously get a number. And when you times your fractions, it will be a little bit different, because I need to do the 1 times the 2/5 and the 2 times the 1/3 as well. So you want to, the best option is just to change them into improper. So to do that, to change 1 and 1/3, I've got 1 whole. That means the 3 out of the 3. So I've got 3. I've got 1 times 3, which is 3. Add my remainder, so I've got 4 out of the 3 in total. Okay. The 2 and 2/5. Well, I've got 2 lots of the 5. That's 10. Add the 2 gives me 12 out of the 5. So those two can change. If you want me to do a video on just changing stuff like that, let me know. Now I can times them. So I can do the 4 lots of the 12, which is 48. And I can do the 3 lots of the 5, which is 15. So I can change that now into a mixed number like they've asked us to. So they've actually asked us to do it this time. So you want how many 5's go into 48? Well, I know it's 3 because 3 15's. 3 15's are 45. And then I've got 48, so that means a leftover, I've got 3 out of the 15. And I can actually simplify 3 out of 15, because 3 goes into 3 and 3 goes into 15, so I can divide it both by 3. So our answer is actually 3 and 1/5. So I've divided both of those by 3 to get that. Okay, next one. Give your answer as a mixed number. So we've got 1 and 4 over 7 divided by 1 and 1/4. Give your answer as a mixed number. So this is dividing, so we know we've got a KCF, but we're going to change these into improper fractions first. So 1 and 4 over 7. So I've got one lot of the 7, so that's 7. Add my 4, because I got 4 left over, which is 11 out of the 7. The denominators always stay the same. And then my 1 and 1/4, well, I've got one lot of the 4, which is 4, add my 1, which is 5, so I've got 5 over 4. So now I can KCF, so I can keep this the same, I can change this, and I can flip this. So I'll have 11 over 7 times 4 over 5, so I just flip that one. Now I can just times like normal, so 11 times 4 is 44, and 7 times 5 is 35. Now, they've asked for it in a, what have they asked for it? In a mixed number. So I want to do how many 35s go into 44. So it's only going to be 1, because obviously 2 lots is 70, so big number 1, so it goes in there once. And then how many left over, so you can just take those 2 away, so there's 9 out of the 35. Alright, next one. We've got to work out 5½ times 1 and 2/3. Give your answer as a mixed number. So they want it in a mixed number again. These are mixed numbers. So I'm going to first put them into improper fractions. So I've got 5 lots of the 2, which is 10. Add my remainder 1. So I've got 11 out of the 2. This one I've got the 1 lot of the 3, which is 3. Add my remainder 2, which is 5 out of the 3, and then I can times them like they've asked me to. So 11 times 5 is 55, and 2 times 3 is 6. So I've got 55 over 6. So we want it in a mixed number, don't forget. So we want how many times does 6 go into 55? Well, we know that's going to be 9, so big number 9, because 9 lots of 6 are 54. So that gives me 1 left over out of the 6. So it's 9 and 1/6. So that's how we times and divide fractions, including mixed numbers.